back, guys. We're back to the sports segment, to the football segment of the show. Of course, where we'll be talking about football, and we're going to be starting with Olale's beloved team, Manchester United, where Emiliano Martinez could potentially be moving to Manchester United from Aston Villa. He has 3 years left on his contract, but he has made his opinion known since the end of last season that he wants to leave Villa, and Villa are willing to let him go as well. Whatever happened there, I don't know. I don't care. But this is a guy who I know most definitely is a world. He has developed to become a world class goalkeeper. I was thinking about it a couple of days ago. I felt if Emiliano has stayed in Arsenal, Arsenal will have won at least one ring. Did I say ring? One Premier League trophy. One Premier League trophy. And my premises is based on the fact that he will have turned couple of defeats to draws, couple of draws into wins, which is exceptional.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exceptional ability. Because realistically, is the guy that won Ateta his only trophy, his only major trophy, which is the FA Cup. And without Martinez that season, Arsenal definitely wouldn't have won that FA Cup. Olale, I don't want to see it happen, but if this happen, do you think it's going to change the mood potentially for Manchester United?
So something there was something you failed to even mention about him. Outside his ability in front of goal.
Yeah,
He's a very charismatic person who has a way of, as in he has a way of get
getting the best out of his
motivating
defenders and his teammates.
exactly the entire team. So if you look at the way Onana has performed in the last 2 seasons, it's actually been disastrous.
He's been
Onana
at
on
Manchester
its
United
own,
for 2 seasons, for one season.
Onana on its own, Onana on its own has costed United a lot of games. That's not like an excuse for United on as a team are not
Yeah.
performing well. Now, as a team that is not performing well, you now have yourself a goalkeeper that you can't trust to just make some basic saves. So I think it will be a massive upgrade on Onana, and it will also be is the psychological part of it, how he could instill confidence
Inspired
in his defense line. Let's see how it works. It's a transfer that I will take any day, anytime, if it's
yeah.
materialized.
Yeah, I don't want it to materialize honestly, but I think if it does, because this guy bring good luck. Olale, we know how much Messi tried to win with his country. How
And
much
for
he
years,
tried. For
it
years
never
he could
happened.
not. It never happened until this guy
For no,
came.
they became good goalkeeper and they just started winning
Yes,
trophies
now
up
and they
and
were, they
down.
were winning, and he was winning competitions for them via
You can't.
penalty shootout.
I can't agree. I can't agree less with you. We've seen some of
Sure,
these things. Some
yeah,
transfers are just they are just turning
game
points
changers.
in.
Yeah,
They are just game changers, and you just everything just turn around. And United has just been looking for that. Like I said, well, I was it on the show last week that I've not seen any single player since Alex Ferguson retired that his value has actually increased at Manchester United.
and
It
what,
has.
what about what about Bruno Fernandes?
Bruno Fernandes has just been there. On most serious note, it's not like his value has really increased, but at least probably is the only one that has still been able to, what
Yeah,
do you call it? At least to
perform,
maintain.
perform consistently at that consistent level.
Yeah, every other person have just been drawn inside the water with some guys just waiting to collect their £300,000 every week.
Anyways, we go to Arsenal. Arsenal, the unserious team. They've not been able to potentially agree terms with Thomas Partey to remain at the club. Now we've heard the guy that they signed Zubimendi in January. They signed Zubimendi in March. Now we are in June. They signed Zubimendi again. Hopefully, hopefully
Hopefully,
this
it's
time
just going to be
around.
another Nicola Gaetan to Manchester United. Only
Exactly,
God knows how many
exactly.
times Manchester United signed Nicola Gaetan.
So let's see if this will work potentially. Olale, I look at the guy and I don't think it's an improvement on Thomas Partey. I'm sorry to say, he's 26 years old. Lot of chance for him to improve, but I really don't think this is big or material signing for Arsenal. If you ask me, that's just
My my
my own opinion.
my, my,
It's
my,
not a
my
marquee
own
signing.
concern was this. My own concern about the whole thing is, if Zubimendi is what you want to go for, why probably go for Merino last year? That's where I'm just a bit confused about this whole thing.
Exactly. Exactly. Is he
So
trying to? Is Ateta trying to recreate Real Sociedad at Arsenal? So
so
now
that's just where
we have Zubimendi, we have Mikel Merino, and we have Martin Odegaard. You should just sign Isiak again and Kubo, and we should know that Arsenal now has a Real Sociedad team.
I
And what?
think where Arsenal should be focused on, where I expect them to be very aggressive on, it should be a centre forward. And what I'm getting, the vibes I'm getting is not too good. Torres for no reason should even be contemplating United as Arsenal. Arsenal is closer to win the league more than United, probably getting closer to finish in top 10 as things stands now. So Arsenal has a lot of things to attract those kind of players. This Sesko is somebody me I don't really trust like that. I've not really seen that. I'm not sure that is that prolific. But whichever way, I think Arsenal should be. I expect them to be very aggressive in terms of getting a striker. But I've not really been seeing that. But again, this is just June. It's still early part. Probably July. A lot of things will pick up. So this Zubimendi, if Zubimendi signed for Arsenal, I think it's great signing. It's going to be a great signing. But
A great no, I don't misuse that word. A great signing.
sorry, it's going to be a good signing, at least on
Thank
paper.
you.
At least on
Thank you.
paper. How is going to try, and sometimes some of these kind of guys, how is going to settle in the Premier League is going to be the question. Is he going to, and how does it affect the structure of the midfield? How Arsenal wants to play? I think creatively they could be much better, because you could see somebody who could start the attack right from the deep position, create more space for the attacking guy to explore. But again, everything is on the line to either become very good or just be
Very,
another
very,
signing.
very, very, very,
So I
very,
don't
very
know. I don't
mediocre
know
like
why
Mikel
Arsenal are
Merino.
holding out on Thomas Partey. I don't really understand why they are stalling on giving him a new contract.
I
There
don't
should be
know,
something
man.
going
I
on
don't,
there
man.
that nobody
I don't know.
is understanding.
Maybe he still wants 250K, which I think it would be silly on his own part if he wants that kind of money.
It's going to be silly, but you can't blame him when a
Yeah,
certain club in the north
yeah.
side of
Then
England.
they should walk. They should walk over it, and Partey can always go to Saudi Arabia where he can get that last paycheck that he wants. Right? You
Exactly.
see that? Yeah. If he wants that kind of paycheck, he needs to go to Saudi. That's the truth.
Just go to Saudi
Nobody's going to
Arabia.
pay.
There's no need.
Yeah, nobody's going to with his track record of injury. Nobody's going to pay him two ten
Injury.
or 12K. So, anyways, Chelsea could not hold their own at the FIFA Club World Cup. They lost 3-1 against Flamengo. After that, a radius red card by Jackson. Olale, this is what I don't like. No, honestly, this is what I don't like. I don't like it. The way Mikel Obi has been gunning for this kid over the past couple of months. Yeah, maybe like a year now. The way it goes for this kid, Mikel, is it not this same Mikel that used to get a card every market day at Chelsea? The way it
So
goes about go after this guy is not nice. He made a mistake. Everybody can make a mistake.
yeah,
And
it's
you
even
are
part of
making
the
you are
game.
referencing, yeah, it's part of the game. You are
Roy
referencing
Keane was
the
the
record
Roy
I
Keane was
got against
when
Newcastle.
Roy Keane, as big as they are, they as in they collected some very stupid records
Silly
during their illustrious
records, yeah.
career. Champions League against Villarreal, Rooney was clapping on at the referee. We could still remember that. Roy Keane
Yeah, of
said
course.
he wanted intentionally injured Erling Haaland's father because he gave him one
Yeah,
injury.
yeah.
So some of these things, I
Was
don't
at
think we need
Nottingham
to. But
Forest.
yeah, so but for me on the Mikel's case, it's just what happens to every other footballer or sport person when they retire and they get to the media. Everything changes. They understand clickbait. They have to pick an enemy. They need something to get people engaged. Sometimes it might
But
be
enough.
fair.
One
Most
time is
times,
enough now.
it might not. It might be unfair. You could see Kennedy Perkins. He was a former NBA player. if you hear some things that comes out from his mouth, you just feel like wow. If they tell you this
but
guy
I like
was once
I
an
like I
NBA
like I
player,
like I like the way that Kevin Durant always come back for that guy. Like
you understand?
yo,
Like
you were the OKC team. You couldn't do
you could see this from even
anything.
from people like Paul
He's a guy.
Scholes and what do you call it? Rio Ferdinand. They might
Guy,
not probably be doing it the
yeah,
way Mikel is doing
yeah,
it,
of
but
course,
sometimes you hear
yeah.
some kind of comment from this guy that
Rio
you
is
just feel like,
still, yeah, Rio is still very, I don't know, Rio is still very considerate. Poscos is a retard
yeah,
when he's analyzing himself.
it's Paul
He's a
Scholes,
retard.
Roy Keane. When those guys analyze, you just feel like, are these guys former
No, no,
footballer? Are they just starting?
for that Roy Keane, though, I can understand Roy Keane's zone. I can
That's
understand
who
Roy
he
Keane.
is by
That's who he
default.
is exactly by default. I can understand Roy Keane. It's just the way that Posco goes about. Posco said something recently about Salcido. I was like, Salcido is not
That it doesn't
cannot
impact
change game.
games.
I'm like, do you even watch Chelsea games before you said this thing, or you
That's the
just
problem. Sometimes they just offer some of these opinions out of their head, and when you run the podcast, you need that views, you need all those things. Sometimes you just look for
I'm
the.
definitely going to watch them?
In
Yeah,
as much as I don't agree that I'm not a Jackson fan. I still think Chelsea
yeah,
should be able to get something better for themselves.
better,
But
yeah,
again, I
yeah,
agree with
yeah,
you. I don't. I think Mikel is overflogging that issue. He shouldn't have been going after the guy
yeah,
just like that. I should
yeah,
have
yeah.
just let the whole thing be.
If you want to help Chelsea, make Chelsea sign Victor Osimhen and stop going for the juggernaut of the kid. Anyways, we're still in the era of this your big championship, Olale, at the FIFA World Club, and I must confess, and I'm sorry to confess this, I've not watched so much of it, because I want to get to the later stage of it. It's looking like a Brazilian team will win this thing eventually, but
Somehow,
they really need,
but you have to give it to
yeah,
South America. That
yeah,
was something I wanted to comment.
but they really need the Real Madrid to win this thing. They really need the Real Madrid to win it.
To give it the
Honestly,
credibility that it deserves. I think
yeah,
FIFA.
of
I
course,
think FIFA. If they are probably waited to, I don't know the criteria. I think what they wanted to do is they don't want, in as much as they want a lot of European teams, they don't want a situation whereby any country in Europe will have more than two representatives. And that's the one thing I just
yes,
eventually figured out. You have two English representatives, two
two
Spanish,
Italian,
Italian. They just want to have the feel of it's a whole world thing. Fortunately, when that thing was decided, Barcelona's form prior to that was not too good.
so good, yeah,
I'm sure they would have loved to have Barcelona there. They probably would have loved to have present form. I don't know, probably Arsenal over Chelsea. I stand to be
yeah,
corrected over that,
yeah.
or even probably Liverpool somehow.
That will have been up for them. That will have been there for them, especially
But again, I
as they are
just
hosting
think
this event
you have to
in
kudos to the
America.
fans. America is somewhere, of course, people earn so good and well, a lot of, and kudos to the South Americans. They've been able to travel a lot. The atmosphere in some of those games have been very
It has
good,
been great
especially
so far.
games that involve Boca Juniors, the Brazilian teams, and
Yeah, River
we've
plays
always known
Flamengo.
this. We've always known this that South American football is not that far off from European football. During the
European
days of the
football, yeah.
Toyota Cup, where you have winners of the Champions League
Winner
playing
of the
against winners
Champions League,
of the Copa,
Copa
it was the name. What's
Libertadores,
the name of that?
the
Yeah,
Libertadores,
exactly.
Libertadores.
We've seen some upsets. Let me just put
Yep,
it like that. We've seen
yeah.
the South American teams winning. There was a year when
When,
was it River Plate? This guy that missed three penalty in a game was Martin Palermo.
yeah, Martin
Uh,
Palermo, yeah,
Palermo.
yeah.
There was one year he stunned this European side. Was it Juventus? Was it Bayern?
I think it was
He
Juve.
scored him. They couldn't come back. So we always know that. What do you call it? And for
Why
the
don't you want
European
to
team, I
mention
don't
when they
know.
defeated Manchester
But for
United?
European team, I don't know whether there's a bit of a system.
After your chair, why did you mention Manchester United after your treble?
No, that was
I
an
think you
experimental. That was an experimental World Club Championship. We had Toyota Cup, but
was
Romario
it
took
not?
us to the cleaners in the early 2000s.
That
Romario
was
took us to the
crazy though.
cleaners with Vasco da Gama that year. Of course,
Yeah,
eventually
yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't win, but another Brazilian one that's in Corinthians.
Hey, the
I, I,
Corinthians.
I think
Yeah,
people can probably just make it a little bit better.
yeah,
And probably they need to work on the camera angle again. I understand a lot of games would have been better in the night, but again, you have to consider people in Europe. Like the few games I've watched, I've not watched a lot. I don't think I've
yeah,
watched any game beyond 8 p.m. Nigerian time. Any game that
yeah.
is 11 p.m.
It's
now,
quite difficult. Yeah, yeah. It's quite
I just
difficult
want to go and sleep.
because the ginger is not even there. What? Why are you staying up late
Why do you
for?
understand? Why would I be waking up? National team football
Maybe
is
when you
quite
get to the
different.
latter stage of the competition
I
and you have
That's why
two
probably
top
that
teams
I
in the
agree with you.
semi-finals or
Probably
something.
by the time you start seeing the round of 16 pairings, okay, I'm gonna start looking at it. Okay, let's see how it goes.
Yeah,
But for
to
now,
a more concerning issue and more concerning topic, and I want your opinion on this. Lami Yamal definitely his role model is Neymar. Neymar best.
that should
And
not happen.
now he went to Brazil. He went to Brazil to meet his idol, and people are expressing concern about it. That I hope this boy is not going to go down that route of partying like a Brazilian and
Well,
whatnot. Is it a
Messi's
genuine
idol,
feel of concern?
it should be, but again, we could all recall. I think being his idol might not be the biggest problem. Messi's idol then was Ronaldinho,
Yeah,
and
but they
kudos
save
to
Messi.
Juan.
Pep Guardiola save Messi.
No, it's not even Pep Guardiola that stayed Messi. It was Johan Cruyff. Johan Cruyff was the one that had to, like, because Pep Guardiola was a rookie coach. We need to understand that he was coaching the unders.
Yeah,
As at that time, he doesn't really have a grip of what do you call. He
over
doesn't
the
have what do you call it?
senior team.
Yeah, he doesn't have that power enough. He has not really proved himself enough to have such quality to demand of certain things. It was Johan Cruyff's decision that said, if you want this boy to last, you need to sell Deco, you need to sell Eto, and you need to sell Ronaldinho. They tried to
Ronaldinho.
sell the three of them in summer of 2008, but there was no market for Eto. And that was why a lot of people were surprised after they won the Champions League in 2009 with the way Eto played in that competition, and for them
Yeah,
to have still moved on from him, collected Zlatan, and still pay money to Inter just to get rid
52
of him.
million.
Just to get rid of him. So for me, I think being the model, it will not even. But it depends on the lifestyle
I
that
decide
is.
to, but the
And the
lifestyle we are
lifestyle
seeing of the kid is
it's
concerning.
not looking good.
It's not looking
Going
good.
after a 32-year-old woman, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know his obsession.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's it's like it's
is it like the 16, 17-year-old ladies in Spain are not?
good
I can't
enough.
understand it.
Yeah,
Why a 32-year-old
it's a
will
bit
be
of
the one?
concern.
Why the 32-year-old will be that's what you will now be looking after? There are a lot of guys
Yeah,
in Africa.
yeah.
Please come around, please. Which kind of 32-year-old? What's wrong with him? Is him? Don't let me use that word. I want to call him one word, yeah, but we are on the
Anyways, Kanute could be moving potentially to either PSG or Real Madrid. We don't know how that is shaping out, but we quench, quench. Is that how to pronounce it? Moving to Bayern
Kwanzaa, the
Leverkusen.
Liverpool defender.
Kwanzaa, yeah, to Bayer
Kwanzaa.
Leverkusen for 30 million pounds. That could potentially be off the table right now. And of course, Luka Modric. We heard he has already signed have an agreement with AC Milan, and Granit Xhaka has agreed with AC Milan as well. Let's see how that works out
So
for AC
Granit
Milan.
Xhaka is
They're not
living
coming
is living in Leverkusen.
Bayer Leverkusen, yes. After his zero
So
left, so
so
I think it's
for Luka Modric, is it that
yeah.
until when he can't move his leg again, that's when he wants to retire from football?
But it's good.
What is the thing
But it's
motivating him?
good.
What's he enjoying?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's just Italy. They don't run in Italy. He doesn't have to run so much. Just play all those passes. I
Okay.
think he can still do it in Italy. He can still
I
do it
think
in
Kevin De
Italy.
Bruyne will be the one that I
Italy,
think is going to light up Italy.
Italy with Napoli, right? That would be
Yes,
a good one.
yes.
And Napoli are hell bent on getting Danny Nunes. I don't know why I feel that guy is still going to come out good. I don't know. Something in me just feel that guy is going to come out good. I don't know why. Have you
It's
given
too
up
clumsy.
given
That's
up
my
on Danny
problem.
Nunes?
But I think,
Yeah,
like
it's
you said,
clumsy, but I think
I think it's a kind of a guy that can have just one great season. He has one great season in probably a very good
yeah,
environment. I might not be able to replicate it again.
to
It's
replicate it.
this that
If he can work on that finishing, I think he's good enough to do something. If he can just wait,
is
if
good
he,
because if you know, I think they signed him to find Alan. The
Alan,
difference
yeah,
between both of them is just probably the finishing.
exactly.
He could offer more to the team than Alan. You could see him, he
Than
could play
Alan,
on the
exactly.
left.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
seems to be more
yeah,
mobile. But
yeah,
again,
yeah.
that quality, what we expect of a striker, which is
Quality
just finish the
finishing
ball, guy, is what he can do.
is what he cannot do.
He actually cost me a lot of points in FPL. So I don't forgive him easily for that.
Anyways, Nico Williams to Barcelona. Nico Williams already agreed personal terms to Barcelona. Let's see if Barcelona will be able to fork out the 61 million pounds release
They
clause
will still fight
for
with
this
us.
kid.
What's the name of that Spanish league FA?
Tibas,
Is it La Liga president?
that's La
Because he will
Liga
still come and
president,
tell them that they don't have enough something to register him. He
and
will be on the waiting list
they'll
for
put they'll pull
he will be on the waiting list for
another
like two
lever.
months.
They'll pull another
I know,
lever.
hey, another level. I don't know where they
They
get
do
all those level from.
they know how they do those things. Those people are just they are bunch of clowns in Spain. Anyways, Olale, any last word before we go on the show tonight?
Um, ah, game seven. I just OKC should be the favorite, but I don't know predictions.
Yeah,
But I just
but
feel like
you think
the
Pacers
Pacers are going to win the
will
title,
just
and that would be like
honestly
that would be the most unusual NBA champion.
champion.
OKC could even OKC. So at next time you could see you can see the last made argument for she to be the MVP, Kola
Oh,
Jokic.
look at
We could
yeah,
see
yeah.
the
I
rising
think
as in how it was, but nobody, not even in the East, like nobody saw these
the Pacers
Pacers,
coming to
and
yeah,
like somebody
yeah.
said, they are just like both of them look like that. They are just like what do you a college team. No superstar. Everybody is a star. Points can come
Yeah,
from anywhere.
from anywhere,
This and
yeah.
this. We've not been we've seen as in variation of different type of NBA champions, but
Uh-huh.
there's always some one or two things similar. There's always this one two guy, one
You know
super one.
what sorry to cut in. You know what someone said? He said if
Yes,
the Pacers should win the title, they will have the worst finals MVP in the last 25 years.
of, of course, because you don't even know who's going to be the final MVP. Because the effort, whatever they've done so far, has been a
It's a
collective effort.
collective effort, yeah. Yeah.
Aliboti could have been more,
Yeah.
it might be more clutch, but I'm not sure he's even averaging up to 16 points in this series.
In this series, yeah. Yeah. Because some he has played a game that he dropped just
So
10
from
points or 15
I think
points.
that would be my. I just have a feeling that those
The
guys
Pacers will
they
win
are
it.
going to push something up.
Okay.
I can see Siakam and Aliboti doing something special. But
Okay.
again,
Let's see how that goes.
most times, let me just put the caveat. Most times when I say some of these things, I'm always like 95% wrong.
Anyways, see you see you again next week. My name is Larry Adeboale. It was a wonderful edition of the show. I couldn't get enough of arguing with Olawale about the ring culture, and I'm pretty sure we'll be doing that after the show is tonight. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful